Painting, it's a bit of a dance. I'm here and I'm painting very quickly and I run back, quite far back. So you're doing this all the time. And also I have a mirror at the back of the studio. I always like looking at paintings backwards, because I don't know what it does. It puts a screen in front of it or something, I think. I'm trying to get it clearer. I'm trying to take away any drops, any accidental things. Yet still retaining the speed and the lusciousness of the paint. And I think once you do that, then all that thing is going to happen where you step back and you're suddenly, everything goes into focus. And, especially, I think the other secret about that is the scale. That's very important. The large scale, I guess, is a bit of a trick. It makes it easier to do that. Because if you were painting, this size, then you're just not going to get that effect, because you can't get close enough to it. Because I think, the way I like to mention painting is that I use the biggest brush for the thing that I'm doing. I don't want to use a fine brush. So I'm using brushes that are that wide just to do a little dot, but I want to retain that sense of the big brush doing it, gestural, strong. And so when you can control that, then all that thing will happen when you step back, like I say, and you will see a very clear looking image. You see the image so clearly in a way that you can think of it in 3 dimensions, whereas I guess a line thing is implying 3 dimensions, volume through the edge of something. And I'm actually really trying to think that I'm visualising it as a 3-dimensional thing, and I don't. So it gives you an easier way of doing the shape of something, basically. It's something that feels, especially in figures, the weight of an arm or a leg and how your body twists around. That's where paint's so wonderful, because it does have that sort of luscious surface thing about it. That's especially something like this with the bottles. It's just a glorious thing to paint, because you've got the soft, edges of things, and then you've just got that hard thing and a hard light thing with the droplets of water on it. I just think it's best to paint the things, for me anyway. It's how it works for me. Is I paint the things that are around me that I know really well, things that I see every day. It's just in my environment. It's like a diary of my life, because it's all about imagery in a way. Digital photography has made it easier for me. I can just go out, I can snap something, and I can get it back in the studio, and 10 minutes later I can be painting it, which is wonderful. And also another thing about digital photography is the imagery, the way that digital cameras work. The painting, the photographs always come out very even to me. I don't know whether other people see it this way, but it's like traditional photographs, you're always aware of something there, and then there's an environment around it. But digital, everything is on an equal playing footing almost, isn't it? Which is what I really like about these, and how I've used it in the paintings, is that I've thought of that there as important as that there. The act of painting in some ways does destroy the imagery, just destroys the reality of it, which is I guess why I'm pleased that I've somehow beginning to find a style where I can have the two married, where you can step back and you can see that image, and yet when you go up close you're aware of that liveliness of the painting. It is that act of painting, isn't it? It's, which is why, like in more recent works that I've tried, where I'm getting away from having it too gestural, where you want to get to a final line of where you are only aware of that when you go up to the work or something as well. So you're a bit more subtle about that. But the photographs, I always make sure that I acknowledge the photograph. And like a lot of the paintings have the flare out in the lighter areas, which comes, photographs have. And I actually quite like that. Because, you are photographing painting the photograph. You're not painting the object; you are still painting the photograph. And I never thought in the past that I'd like that, but actually I really enjoy working with that way of thinking more than traditional way of painting an object in front of me. I want people to see the paint. I want them to experience what I experience when I paint it a little bit, to be wowed by that as much as anything too. It's a show off. It is a bit of a show off thing to be able to fling paint around, but still keep it very precise. And that only does come with time. You know, that's what I was saying before about years of painting and then building up that technique where it becomes natural. You feel like you're just painting reality and not. I know it's reality of a photograph, but still, you're not thinking of the paint as a medium between you and what you're looking at. And I find the more that you just get in the studio and just dab away with a bit of paint here and there, something will happen. And you really will, the painting will come eventually, you know. And I guess in terms of career, it's a bit like a bigger version of that. You know, the more that you do, you just build up a body of work behind you. And, you know, it becomes an historical thing. You can look back and see your work developing, or hopefully developing. So, you know, that's rewarding as well. But I love painting, more so than ever. You know, maybe as you get more skill, you do recognise that, and it does make you feel like you're doing something that's worth doing, you know, for other people to see as well. Because I think foremost you have to paint for yourself. You know, I don't think you can get away with just well, you can a bit, but not showing off to other people. You know. So, you don't think of exhibitions all the time. You have to think of what you want to do for yourself, what you like to look at.